What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream. Before we get started on this one, can someone in the chat let me know if you can see and hear me clearly? I am on a new streaming software, testing some new stuff out because I'm looking at having some guests on the show. It can be really cool to add some badass traders to the show, get some live trading in, some interviews, some conversation, and this software does support me adding in some guests. Awesome. All looks clear, right? At least 1080 got to be coming in. You can hear me okay. Just want to make sure everything looks solid so far. It's test number one. You guys are the guinea pigs. If it goes sideways, bear with me. I'll jump back on. Got my headphones. Trade me. How are you doing? All good, man. Okay, nice. We are good to go. Yeah, I just didn't have the intro rolling with this one, but this is cool. Cool. All right, man. So disclaimers first. Remember, trading's risky. Most traders lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. If you trade, you're probably going to lose all your money. I'm just an idiot here yapping on YouTube about trading for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Make your own decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top One Futures, Bookmap, a whole bunch of others, code RDF. Let's hop onto the charts if I can do it correctly. Let's see. Hang tight. Let's see what we could do here. We will get Project X pulled up with Top One Futures. That's not that fast. There we go. That looks good. That looks good. Let me know if you guys can see me the chart. Let me know if you guys can see the chart on the live, nice and clear. We're good to go. I know it's all one screen, my face over to the side. I can adjust a whole bunch of different things after this, but want to just crispy. Nice. Ruben says crispy, all good. Awesome, man. Let's get to it. That's enough BS. Now, let's see what we got going on here, man. Wild day in the markets yesterday, right? Wild day in the markets yesterday. Just taking a look from the 1 minute chart, really zoomed out. I held a long bias really all morning. I didn't find an entry at all with you guys on the live. I took a couple longs afterwards, shared that with you guys, what I was looking at. And this is what I was anticipating. I just did not feel that this was going to be a sell-off. It felt like we were going to wick below and then start to push, which eventually we did after kind of just chopping all morning. Like this was some pretty gnarly back and forth VWAP chop. Would have been pretty difficult to deal with. I think if I got involved here at all, probably would have taken some L's. But you can see what happened all the way into the afternoon, all the way into the close, pushing up to put the high of day in. Overnight session, we drifted lower, drifted all the way lower up until we cracked on this 8:30 a.m. news, this CPI, put the overnight high in all the way up here and cracked above prior day high. Now we are drifting back towards VWAP at the open here. Let's look at the daily, which I like to do every dang morning. Let's take a look and make sure everything looks cool. Here. Yeah, it looks good. Look at the daily real quick. We know what happened yesterday. Really, really big gap up and then continuation to the upside. We pulled back quite a bit during NYSE session, but came back up to fill that candle out. Really nice big bullish candle closing above these highs over here. And here we are trading into the 70s, the 870s right now on ES. It looks like we may be going to take a trip back towards that 5,900, 6,000 level, right? Here in ES, that huge round psychological number. I do have those marked to the upside, the 5,900, the 950, and the 600. I had them yesterday. The liquidity at those levels, big round psychological numbers, lining up the structure, what I want to pay attention to. So we kind of got a little bullish doji forming right here off the open. But I think we can chop up here. I think we can easily pull back down towards that gap, at some point this week. Really have a pretty solid retracement, whether we're going to turn or continue to the upside. I think that could be in store. I also think this could absolutely just be off to the races, where we had that, news come fundamentals really pushing this thing higher. I try not to place too much weight on it, explain too much about it, because it's just not something that I utilize that heavily in my trading. But this is strong, really, really strong, right? All lows looking very, very strong, especially the upside. So back down to the 1 minute. We will watch this on my preferred trading time frame. Got my levels marked up. Overnight high, prior day high, overnight low, prior day low. We got yesterday's value area high that we're sitting at right here above VWAP. Really looking to test to the upside. I don't know that we just break and run. Gun to my head, I think we pull back down towards VWAP first. Right off the bat, I'm gonna let the market open up. We're at 9:34 a.m. Eastern, pretty clear on news for the rest of the day. But I'm definitely gonna give this a little bit of time to open up. I don't have an immediate setup the way that I was anticipating maybe something quick yesterday. Not gonna jump into this long or short right here. I'm obviously looking long on this. Above every level and zone and marker that I would have on my chart. Um, Structure and price action looking very bullish, higher time frame to lower time frame, all the way into this open. I think the obvious play is the upside. I will look to trade it both ways just based on where we're at. Both time frames here, right? Scalping on the 1 minute chart. But for right now, I'm going to let this open up. Pulled back just a little bit, didn't come anywhere close to VWAP, and now we are just showing some strength. This could be one of those off to the races right off the open situation where, unless you're ready to just jump in long and ride this thing to the upside, could be left behind. I'm not going to pull that. I'm not going to pull anything crazy. I'm not going to jump right in and just start smashing the buy button 5 minutes into the open. Let the gamblers and algos do their thing right off the open. Stay patient and kind of watch what starts to happen here. If we continue to show a lot of strength, I'm going to try to pop away in long, try to ride that, maybe on a little breakout type of deal. But initially, I'd like a pullback down, um, giving me a better way to structure risk, better entry point, trade, trade off of. So right now, looking at Bookmap, we have some liquidity right above at the 77s. So we want to grab all the way up to the 85s, the 890s. Back towards this overnight high pretty quickly. I think we don't pull back here. Again, going to stay patient off the open. That's my game plan. What's up, guys? Audio cutting out a little bit at the moment. Oh, could be a mine though. Let's see. Having difficulty hearing. Okay, let's see what we got going on. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Again, guys, if it goes sideways, I'll jump right back on. Jump right back onto the other one. Let's see. Settings, audio. Looks good. Yeah, let me just bring it up nice and close to my mouth here. I got some settings on the other one that is really, really like loud. So I could do. Yeah, don't have. Yeah, let me know if this sounds good. I got automatic stuff on, so let me know if this sounds okay. Probably because I turn my head and I start looking at another screen, but I'll bring the mic up nice and close to my mouth. I'll whisper to you guys this morning, guys and girls. All right, hanging out. Is actually wrong on your side. Yeah, let me know. All right, let me know, guys. Here, ready? I'll do some tests. I'll talk into the microphone for a little bit. Mantis, let me know if you can hear me clearly or not, or if it is just cutting out. From my end, it is looking pretty clear that audio is coming through. I can see it on my side. I'm assuming that it's because I was turning my head and talking over the side, but we'll run this for a little bit longer. If nobody can hear me, you guys let me know in the chat, and we'll figure something out. It does automatically adjust, so that could be an issue. But if it's too loud or too low or just cutting out, let me know. And but watching this market start to open up to the upside here, we'll have to see, man. Do we just break and run? A lot of getting clear. Okay, yeah, it's me. I turned my head right. I got a couple screens in front of me. I have the settings on really high on the last streaming side. Um, Setting here for you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for helping me out. Because there we go. Now I got mic volume. Let's see. How does that sound? If I just turn it up like that, I don't automatically adjust. Let me know how that sounds, if that's clear enough. If it cuts in and out, let me know what that sounds like. Testing for you guys. Got the mic nice and close to my mouth here. Watching this market break out to the upside. Trading the 5876s here on Project X with Top One Futures. As you guys can see, code is in the chat. I'm just going to keep talking for a minute so I can test this out. Code's in the chat, 40% off. Code RPF. You want to check that out. If you're on here, we are running giveaways every dang week. Random days, random times. No guarantee that you win anything on any one day or time that you hop on because random days, random time. Form drops in the chat. You get about 10 minutes to fill it out. and we picked someone here. No purchase necessary. 50K straight to funded accounts up for grabs. Happy to be doing that. Shout out Top One Futures. Let me know what that sounds like, boys and girls. A little bit better, but overall still poor quality. Yeah, it sucks. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to test that. It's high end streaming, high end mic. Um, I'll go back and listen, and I'll figure out, guys. But for now, we'll keep it going. Sorry that we got some poor mic quality today, but I'll test it on my side. I'll get that figured out. Glad you can hear me, and luckily, my voice sounding super duper crispy clear, unfortunately, is not going to help me make any better trading decisions or to provide any better entertainment for you guys. Right? For entertainment purposes only. Yeah, man, this is strong. This is showing a lot of strength right out of the gate. I'm really interested to see what we get going here, man. This is dicey. This is a dicey. Let's see. But good morning, guys. Welcome to the show. AD, Enzo, Ruben, Mantis, Jordan, Fife, Jenny. What's going on, guys? Great to have you here. Great to see you. Mom, good morning. Nove, what's happening? Bob, maybe the mic isn't picking up your voice. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Sorry that it's back and forth. I'll have to mess with it. It could be an echo setting or something like that, but we won't waste too much more time on it. Watching this market rip to the upside. Really not taking his foot off the gas right off the open. We do have liquidity to the upside. Not a ton, nothing crazy standout. But at the 85s and all the way to the 90s and then the 5900s, we got orders that are getting eaten up to the upside. So this looks very strong out of the gate. I'm cautious. I'm cautious that we might not start to pull back on this. It looks like we want to run. I don't have a way to structure risk. I don't think anybody has a good way unless you're just buying in, arbitrarily placing a stop loss, or just going right below the open. You essentially just bought directly off the open, which is not my play. So going to come up on the 15-minute opening range pretty soon. We're at 9:41, 9:42 a.m. Eastern. We'll see what that has for us, what that looks like. I'm looking long on this. I'd like to find a way in on a pullback. If we get anything like that, what do we do, man? This could be a blast off type situation, and these can be, in my humble opinion, a little bit difficult to trade. You can really start to run to the upside without providing any good way to structure risk the way that I define that. Let's see what we got here today. We appreciate you guys hopping on. We got a bunch of people on, man. Got to share this one across the groups. Appreciate you hopping on as always. Welcome in. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. If you're new, my name's Zach. I trade here live on YouTube almost every dang day. I run a 100% free trading Discord community. I make a bunch of videos, a bunch of content about my trading, so you know a little bit more about me. I don't claim to be the best trader in the world. I don't claim to know it all, to have all the answers. I don't claim anything. I just show you how and what I do for free, what real trading looks like for me. Wins, losses, lost accounts, break evens, and let you decide for yourself if anything that I say or do is helpful or useful for you. Right? That's the beauty of doing all this fun stuff for free. So more than happy to have you here with me. Along with that, here on these other sessions, put the little banner up. Pretty cool thing. I can swap out banners on this platform. Boom! Here on the lives, we are running 50K instant funded account giveaways every week, multiple every week. You hop on the live sessions here, you hang out with me, you get a chance to win. Random days, random times. Drop a form, you get about 10 minutes to fill it out, no purchase necessary, and you got a shot of getting instantly funded with Top One. Excited to be doing that. Shout out Top One Futures. I'm partnered, affiliated with them. They are right now who I'm focusing on for trading on these prop firm accounts. Still got a handful of other accounts, but shout out to Top One, instant funded on Project X. Really sweet. Code RDF if you want to check that out. Links in the chat. Hell of an opportunity for traders, in my humble opinion. But again, my humble biased opinion, because I stand to make money. I'm affiliated, partnered, uh, happy to be transparent about that, right? Can't be, unbiased if I stand to make money. I think if everybody just said that, we're transparent about it, traders, consumers, individuals just make their own decisions, right? Yeah, man, little break and retest of prior day high and then immediate buyer stepping back in. Oh man, so I'm eyeballing this for longs, guys. I don't want to jump at it too quickly. I'm gonna wait. I've resigned myself to if we open up above VWAP and immediately start to push and break prior day high and push towards overnight high, and I start feeding right into it. It's longs that can quickly be invalidated when you have direction right, and you're just jumping in too early. So I will potentially. Here's the risk: I'll potentially miss this move to the upside by not just jumping in here really, really quickly, aggressively. Something like this, right? A tiny 1 minute chart pullback and look to jump into something along these lines. Maybe you go kind of down below this level, and you look to start running it to the upside. I'm not going to start taking this. I think it's something you'd have to take multiple times. There's just no clear pullback. There's no clean out. The way that I interpret price action and market structure, this is not providing me a good way to structure risk. We don't have that nice bounce to the downside yet to take out everybody that got long, pick up some liquidity, just rebalance that volume weighted average price that we really haven't touched since 7 a.m. That's my style is just to wait a little bit off the open, try to find a good way to structure risk. And in this case, where we have so much strength in one direction, really be cautious about looking short. If I wanted it short, it's coming up. If you wanted it short back to VWAP, maybe breaking down below this low, coming into like the 72s, I think would be clean, cheap trade to the downside. I can absolutely see that happening. Getting short on this so quick off the open could just be a little bit dicey. It would really be fading this big movement, and I'm happy to fade movements on the low time frames in the direction of the higher time frame, or at least the movement that I'm looking at happening zoomed out a little bit on the 1 minute chart. In this case, it would just be extremely counter. So I don't I don't see a short in my future right here, at least yet. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of strength, of strength. But again, man, appreciate you guys being on. Yeah, we got more people hopping on. Welcome to the show. Smash like, smash subscribe. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Free means free. Making bread like banker, like bakers. There we go. Making bread like bakers. Sound just became good just 10 seconds ago. Great. I think it's like an autofocus on camera. If he turns his head, the mic adjusts automatically. Then he needs some time to pick the right settings again, not put Zach's voice off. As nice. Gotcha. Yeah, it could be like echo or there's a handful of like advanced settings on this platform, and I messed with some of them yesterday, tested it, sounded okay, but it's always hard to know like what is actually gonna sound good on your guys' end, right? Once I can't physically be in two places listening to YouTube live, and then doing it unless I am. So I figured I'd test with you guys on Thursday, but appreciate you giving me feedback, man. Happy to be doing. Yeah, man, pulling back down to retest this. Like I said, really aggressive short. We'd be like breaking down into the 73, 72s, stop loss above this level for a continuation back down to VWAP, sweeping below session low. On another day where we're not so bullish from the higher time frames to the lower time frames, maybe. And if we had some liquidity down there, that would really look good to pick up to the downside. I could see something like that, but not today. There's really not much at all to the downside. There is more to the upside and not a ton standing out, but all the way up through those 90s. So this is gonna be a stay patient. Just watch if we continue to just drift higher right off the open. Just kind of wait for some kind of setup to say, hey, I don't think we're pulling back at all. Buyers in store, we are going to run highs, and it's going to be another big bullish candle on the daily, or start to break to the downside, get some levels down below for a long. I'd be looking at a move towards VWAP, right back down to the 60s. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. Lower than that would be around yesterday's volume point of control. I could definitely see a movement down here, probably a little bit below that. I'd say, sweeping down below this temporary volume point of control could be like cracking the 50s for a really nice deep retest, then look long off of something like that, back towards VWAP, back towards the upside. But I don't know if we get that today. It's just, yeah, here we go. Just a ton of strength, ton of strength. So retest of prior day high again. Really, really an aggressive long play from up here. If you wanted this breakout to continue right now, stop loss just below this level, anticipating that if we do come lower, we're probably headed back down to the mid 60s, back down to the low 60s towards VWAP. And the anticipation is just that we break and continue to the upside. I'm not jumping in just yet. Again, we were past the first 15 minutes. I could see this starting to run. I'm going to be just, again, a hair patient on this. Just a hair patient on this. This is showing a lot of strength. This looks like long America, chat. This looks like long America for sure. Yeah, man. If we continue to break out and run without pulling back, towards this 10 a.m. time frame, um, I'm going to look long on this. Again, I wanted to see and wait and see if we were going to get some kind of a pullback down towards the low 60s towards the VWAP, maybe below that, before aggressively moving higher. But this looks like it might just be buyers in store. Excuse me, right off the bat. News candle printing, bullish, quick pullback down, and buyers stepping right back in to continue this move. So I could see a late to the party long. It's kind of how I would describe that as we continue to push. Um, Short, I would be waiting for a huge move to the upside and then some structure to continue back down before looking at it for a really, really aggressive reversal. That would have to be later in the day. Um, I'd really like a pullback in order to get long, clean out some guys that are long up here, pick up liquidity to the downside before moving higher. That's what I would like to see today. But don't know that we're going to get it, man. And sometimes these immediately bullish off the open, just popping right off the open, not starting, with any type of a pullback can be tough unless you're ready to start jumping right in and testing longs on days like that, which I typically don't. Don't find that to be super super beneficial. This means tomorrow we go down. If today up trend day, maybe. Team bearish in the house, boys, boys and girls. Put your seatbelts on. Oh man, Ruben's calling for a big move to the downside. Let's get the poll running. That was fun from yesterday. Let's see where you guys' heads are at. Hang on one second. Let's get a poll rolling. This is going to be the up or down. There we go. Let me know what you guys think. We closing really strong today. Does this look like it's going to be a move that continues to the upside? We're going to put a nice big green candle on the chart, or do you think that the bears are going to show up and we are in fact going to pull back? Where my head's at, based on everything that we're seeing on the chart, is going to be long. This looks like a long American type deal. My fear here is that I just don't have a good way in. Starting to buy 10, 20 minutes into the open on no pullback and just a small pops higher is not my play. It's just not my personal setup. It's not an open range breakout that I take or anything like that. So I will struggle to find a way in unless we get some kind of a pullback, or I wait a little bit, it continues, and then I start trying, right? Or we really do turn, and I'm stuck fighting a move to the upside. Excuse me, a move to the downside. But right here, I'm going to sit patient. Again, I was no trade on the session with you guys yesterday. That was really no opportunity that I felt up until the time that I was hopping off, and then found some stuff into the afternoon. Um, Today, I got a feeling we're either going to continue this slow drift up, not pulling back at all, or we're going to see some aggressive sellers step in to bring this thing lower before potentially continuing higher. That's what my the gut feel is telling me. I don't specifically trade off that, but that's my subjective interpretation of this price action market structure. A lot of strength right off the open. This is either it's just continuing. This is either going to continue this slow grind up and be a difficult one to find in outside of just smashing the buy button because it's moving higher. I find it difficult because I just don't see good spots to structure risk. Here's your opportunity down here on a retest of prior day high. That would be paying to the upside. Not a lot yet, but that'd be paying to the upside as we move higher into the 5890s. Um, yeah, I'd look around. If I was going to look at anything really aggressively counter to this, it would have to be on an aggressive move up to the 900s or a small pop lower. But I don't know that I want to fade this. Don't know that I want to fade this bad boy. This looks strong. We've got liquidity that we are eating to the upside. The 890s, the 95s, and the 900s on Bookmap, which I don't know how to swap between a million screens just yet. I'll play with that later, but we're showing that, showing a lot of strength on that to the upside. And we have, about 87 on the book up at 895. We got a couple stacks right around 900, 150 something, right at 900, just below it, 133. Looks like kind of moving around. This can be strong right to this 5,900 level, big round psychological number. Conversely, we start to sell off. I'm looking at the back of the up move, but it's just not a whole lot for me just yet. Again, man. But we're gonna find something. I got a feeling I'm gonna find something today. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on? I'm not bearish. More caution and neutral. Don't like place to be very strong bullish and hate catching tops. Yep. Bearish until proof otherwise. And if so, I look for pullback. I'm always bearish. At least 8 out of 10 trades or sells. Gotcha. We got the perma bear. Morning, Mike's a little bit choppy. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play with this. Thank you, David. We were working on that earlier. New streaming software. I'm going to mess with that. That's good morning. Yes, guys, I will be messing with this. I want perma bear title in Discord. Yeah, maybe perma bear title in Discord. Man, this is showing a lot of strength to the upside. Long play, man. Retest the prior day high, test to this level, then some movement to the upside. I'm not taking anything from up here. Again, we'd have to continue, form some way for a nice clean way to structure risk, and then a continuation. But if we just continue this slow grind, I don't have a way in. I don't want to jump in and start taking small haircuts, trying to catch the long. It's really just not my play on a super duper strong bullish move. I try to keep myself from trying to short it up and until we get to a really aggressive level like the 900s. But if we do that, we are, again, still showing a lot of strength But outside of this level, I would move short, really above the 900s, with no liquidity to the upside, volume filled, and at least some kind of pause or hesitation. I can see that for an aggressive counter trend short. Um, just did not pull back today. Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, I see you guys looking at shorts. Long America, 72% on the chat that you guys say Long America. Nice. And that. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. This looks strong. Got to find a way in, right? For me, part of my trading is finding a way to structure risk, right? And that means finding an invalidation point where if price comes back down to a level, I no longer want to be long. I no longer think it's going to continue up, or at least my trade thesis is invalidated, right? Like that's kind of the way that I look at placing a stop. Million different ways to do it, right? Uh, Pretty aggressive here on the ES chart, which is why more of these trades on the 1 minute zoomed in, are tighter stop loss. Going to have to be um, a little bit more aggressive, right, on the entry, not waiting for a whole bunch of confirmation, not looking to get into a trend with a super duper wide stop loss looking for a continuation. They are going to be a little bit more reversion type plays, a little bit more counter to the immediate movement. When we get something that is just bullish overall in the high time frames and then just continuing to push with no real pullback at all, just little bits of consolidation and then continuing, tough, tough to find a way in, right? That's kind of a downside of an approach. So let's see what we get. Let's see what we get out here out of ES. Only only potential, and again, I don't take this trade every day, right? This is not something consistently that I'm going to put on, so I really shouldn't be doing it today. Only thing I could see is just a very quick break of prior day high, pushing to the upside, retest, a little bit of a sweep below, and then a continuation higher. But that's not something that I take with no test of VWAP, no real continuation, no attempt to move lower to clean anybody out, and just immediately pushing higher right off the open to the first couple minutes. Just not a trade that I jump into right off the bat to say long right away. 5 minutes in, I think we're breaking out and we're not pulling back at all. Because most of the time, when I look at this stuff, we don't get that, right? We pull back. We find it, pullback on the way in. But let's see what the market's got for us, man. Again, appreciate you guys hopping on. Team Long America is not tired of winning yet. That's funny, man. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Smash like, smash subscribe. As you guys can see on the chart, on the screen. Code RDF for 40% off of top one futures plus anytime payouts. That's what they got rolling right now. 40% off plus anytime payouts and the no daily loss add-ons. Pretty solid. That big 55% off deal is by the wayside. Made everybody aware of that, but this is the new one. Their springtime promo, and along with that, 50K instant funded account giveaways every week here on the live sessions. You guys tune in, you get a chance to win. Random days, random times. I drop a form randomly and give you guys about 10 minutes to fill it out, basic contact info, and you got a chance to win. Outside of that, you don't have to do anything, man. Free means free, and whether you do any of that or just hang out here with me, chat in the chat or not, just kind of watch what's going on. I appreciate you being here. I'm grateful for everybody that's in the community that hangs out on these live sessions, that watches any of my stuff. I appreciate you. I think that's important to say, right? Can't have any kind of crazy ego, and gotta be grateful. Man. I think that helps me a lot. Slow grind to the upside, no pullback, nothing, man. This just looks like close your eyes. I used to joke around about that on Top Step TV. This looks like the close your eyes, press the buy button, and sing the national anthem. I mean, that's what this looks like. Throw a stop wherever you want, and just hang on long. That's what this one feels like today. Um, it can be fun. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, you can either jump in quick, hang on, or kind of sit by the wayside wait for something that might not come. So for now, I'm going to stay patient and hang on this one. Just turning, yeah, 10:05 a.m. till 4. Bit. Gonna hang with you guys. See what we Team Long America is not tired of winning yet. No, they're not. They're not. What was the experiment? I'm reading the guys in the chat, trying not to turn my head too much here. Um, just trade longs for 1 month, just trade shorts for 1 month. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool if you guys wanted to, if you guys wanted to run an experiment like that, that'd be funny. No composure, lads. That's there. Any trade today? No trade yet. No trade yet for me, man. No trade yet. Hanging out with the guys, 35 minutes in to the session. About 35 minutes into the session. Nothing yet. Just an immediate pop off open and then slow grind to the upside. Not giving a lot of direction, obviously. Not really giving me any way into this trade. The only area that I could see for an aggressive trade setting up for me, and it's counter, but it is something I'm going to have to trade based on the way that it's setting up on Bookmap. And let's start to get a lot of liquidity that stacks up above the 900s. If we stay on the book with nothing here, I could see a really aggressive short back down towards overnight high, anticipating that some normal price action is going to form what I would define as normal, which is not a great way to talk about trading, right? Because it's so unique every day. Um, some price action form a pullback, but it would be very counter. It's not in the direction that I feel price might continue moving today, which is up. So I don't love it. I'd have to wait and see what happens here. On another day where we're pulling back really aggressively to the downside, like yesterday, I'm going to be looking for longs very aggressively right off of levels. Watched that multiple times play out last week for, for a little bit back and forth, but for some wins. This one could be tough. To the upside, some kind of pullback, some kind of entry off of anything. Pull back to like the 80s at the least. Something. Sellers to step in, find a way to structure risk, and then some continuation. Slow grind. I don't have anything if we just keep putting 1 point bars to the upside. Again, you could hit the buy button and throw a stop down below. That's your way in. You press buy. I always get that comment. That's how you find a way in. You press buy or sell, which I agree with. But it's not the way that I approach the market consistently. It's not my strategy, my approach. So watching this closely on Bookmap, we have some coming on the board at the 5907 and a half. We got 100 up there and the 910s. We're gonna see, guys. We're gonna see if it's gonna be slow grind all day. And again, don't wait for me. Obviously, it's for game purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing here is a suggestion or recommendation. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. You're an idiot if you trade. You probably lose everything. But if you do trade and for their purposes, if you're looking for a way in long, don't wait for it, man. If your approach says when we have extreme, bullish pressure, just continuing above VWAP, above every level, breaking out a prior day high, I don't wait for anything. I just find a way in and throw a stop. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and it's a tough move. It's a tough move to pull because it begs the question: where the hell do you place a stop loss? But if that's your play, man, take that tough trade. Do your thing. I'm stuck waiting on this one because that's not my play. Right? That's not my approach every day. At least here, the way that I'm trading with you guys right now, on these low time frames on the ES chart. Trend day is good when you have an entry. Yeah, I agree with that. I've been grinding up 950. Very nice, Ralph. Very nice. Yeah, here we come into the 5900s. Ruben is just straight up bear movement to the downside. Yeah, I'm looking at a crack to the 900s again for a really aggressive short. It's the only play that I have. It's really the only opportunity that I see. Do I love it with a stop loss at 910? Really, it's not my favorite because it's so aggressive. But do I think we pull back at a certain point here? Do I think we fill liquidity, sellers step in and move lower? Yes, right. We obviously are pretty far extended to the upside. This one is aggressively counted. That's what I get to see for the first trade. It's going to be, what I'm really classifying. Most of these that you've seen on here have been just kind of lower risk trades because market's been so damn volatile. It's gonna be like a $500 risk trade. Would give me room for another couple if I wanted to continue on. The high end of my risk would be like $1,000 risk per trade, 2 trades, take $2,000 down in the day and say that's enough. 2 back-to-back Ls at full risk would definitely be done on the day. DFTD, done for the day. But on something like this, here we go. We're gonna get it right before 900. It's not gonna give me a setup. But for something like this, 500, I wouldn't mind that 10-point stop loss in one mini. Looking for continuation back down towards overnight high. Just some bit of a pullback after nonstop grind to the upside with none coming off of the key level, big round psychological number. I just don't think it's common that we drift through here with no volume because we have quite a bit of sellovers here. Again, guys, watching this on Bookmap up here. Um, 300, about 300. Yeah, we got some algos overlapping it, so it might be less than that, but around that 300 mark on the book, up at the 900s. I'm looking for a crack into that level for a really aggressive short. It would be very counter to this move to the upside. Um, I'd really be looking for a pullback down to some normal level of structure. The only trade that I see, I'm not going to place it with a limit order or anything like that right at 900. I think kind of crack to the upside pretty quickly. I wouldn't mind taking it around the 902s. If we start to break and run, I keep myself out of a trade. Um, Here we go into it. A lot of volume here, man. This is a dicey play. This is a dicey play. ES pop right to the upside. Yeah, man, we could just be headed right to the 950s. 930s. We got some on the book. Obviously, 950, big, another round psychological number, past the 900s, not quite as big. We could just be headed up today with nonstop movement and really no pullback, like zero sellers just rolling over today. We didn't get any, huge pullback in pre-market. We did pop on news. Here we go, trading the 99 and a quarter, 99 and a quarter, 99 and a half. Yeah, I'm gonna wait to see what happens as we pop through this. If we just start to run, here we go. If we just start to run, I don't want to be jumping in front of this, and just gonna give it a little bit of time to breathe up here. Take a look. Yeah, 130 on the book at 907 and a half. One, 153 up at 910. Um, this is a dicey one to step right in front of, guys. Tempted short on this if you missed it earlier. 5,900, big round psychological number. There's just a lot of strength here. There's not an enormous amount to pull this lower on Bookmap, so I'm cautious of jumping right in front of this. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. There's orders at 905, 907 and a half, 910. We could see a turn lower, but this is way too strong. There's just too much strength. There's not a lot of buy orders down below either. There's nothing that's really feeding it. Yeah, there we go, man. Immediate move to the 903s. Going to check out the 905s. Maybe off the 910s. That stuff's been sitting there. Maybe off the 910s, I could see something really aggressively short. But here we go. A lot of strength to the upside, man. Yeah, buy play, man. Just buy the open, buy any one of these little 1 minute bars. That looks like the movement. Uh, Super aggressive, cracking the 900 level, moving right past. Let's see what happens up here around the 910s. A lot of orders getting fed on the book here. I'm anticipating sellers to step in at one of these levels of liquidity, but buyers have just blasted right through, obviously overpowering it, continuing to take it higher. Nice positive move on the open here. Now we're now we're starting to get some setting up here. Got close to that 9-10 level. That's what I'm looking at for a really, really aggressive short. We pull back down. Obviously, I'm not getting it. We could just continue this movement to the upside, but I'm looking for a pullback here at some point. This might be the start of it right here below these 9-10s. Yeah, again, no real way in for this long for me. Way into this long for me. Um, taking a breakout and continuation is not my play here on the ES chart in 1 minute. Not nearly going to be able to run wide enough stops. Be more of that 15-minute chart play. But let's see what happens up here around the 9-10s. That's my game plan. Looking short. Again, very aggressive, counter to this immediate movement. Last level of liquidity before, not really true. As I say that, more stacks up. Yeah, wild movement, man. Bulls are in town. Ruben, what happened, man? What happened, Ruben? Where's the Bears at, man? Weird price action. Can you see iceberg? But yeah, I don't really see a lot of iceberging or what I would classify as iceberging. I don't have that indicator up on Bookmap. I just kind of watch it myself. I don't agree. Happening late. Good morning. Yep, I got the audio. Trading today, limited time. So something. Yeah, here we go, guys. I'm eyeballing a short for the 9-10s. It would be very aggressive. I, I obviously did not find any way into this long. That's not a reason in itself to look short, but I'd be looking at the 9-10s potentially fill here and not just blast higher. Oh, my language. Wow. Immediate move to the 9-15s. We're going to run out of steam anywhere here. We're going to run out of steam anywhere. Watching this on Bookmap gives me a little bit more patience.
Order filled.
I'm going to try it there, guys. We filled the 9-15s. We are running out of orders on the book to the upside. This is aggressively counter. Stop is at 9. Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to run this really wide. As you guys know, I don't really run a fixed take profit. I'm going to look to manage this. This is very aggressively. I'm not attempting to pick a top here so much as I'm looking to sell off of the last level of liquidity on Bookmap, which was the 9-15s. I'm going to aggressively manage this by dragging stop loss into profit quickly because I think this could very, very quickly turn against me. Stop loss to break even immediately. There we go. Risk-free trade. If we move down into like the 907s, 905s, we drag this into profit. I'm looking for a reaction that we started to get here off the 9-15s. Was looking from the 900s, the 9-10s. We didn't get any of that. We started to get it here. I'm going to manage this very tightly. Immediate stop loss to break even. Again, I'm looking for that to be somewhat of the last level on liquidity that starts to build before we start to pull back. But there's more up there, man. There's more up there. There's more than 917.5. So I'm not going to run a wide stop on this and just get off. We did get an immediate pullback, something that we one of the nicer ones, right? If I look at those moves, it's 4.5 points. We immediately cracked about 5 points off of the high. Here we go to the downside. Just at least starting to come off that high. I'm going to drag into profit a little bit more aggressively if we start to come down lower. We get around 5 points in profit, 5, 6 points in profit. I'm going to drag this down and trail really aggressively because I want to see this just continue right here. I don't want to see it dance around up here at all. Let's grab some quick profits, right? Trailing stop, probably trail myself out because I'm going to move this pretty aggressively lower. Gonna throw it right there, trailing aggressively behind price. Nice, nice. Can we get a nice crack down towards the 5900s before we start to pull back? I don't want to be short on a break and retest to the upside at all. Let's see. Can we get a nice, really quick bearish candle to the downside? Or do I get trailed out? I'll grab my nice 237.50 across 3 accounts. Won't be too mad about that. Very, very counter. So again, guys, I'm trailing aggressively. I'm going right below that candle low, 262 in profit. Nice, showing me about 350, 365 bucks. Trailing really, really aggressively on this one. Would like to see it crack towards the 900s, potentially lower. Decent entry, right? Last level of liquidity on Bookmap. Why did I jump in short up here? I'll try to share the screen and go back on that. Very nice. Trailing to like 325, about a couple points behind price as we continue lower. Continuing to trail lower, continuing to trail lower. Want to see this continue. 400 bucks on the table. Let's see if I get trailed out right here. Nice, continuing to trail lower, right on top of price action to the downside. Very, very aggressive. We got a lot of orders that are continuing down below, so we just continue to rip lower right down towards the 900s. That's a potential area to look for profit, but we could find some buyers right here. But I'm going to get trailed out or let this bad boy run. That's my game plan. Yep. Ooh, let's go 450 on this. Finding some buyers here, so this looks like it could be the trail out, start to flip a bar bullish on this move, but not yet. 902s, 900s have orders on the book. Stop is at 905 flat. Can we continue below that without coming back up on it? See.
Order filled.
There we go. Trailed out for 447, almost a 1-to-1. Right below a 1-to-1. It showed me over a 1-to-1 in profit. Nice. Very, very, very aggressive risk management. You guys have seen the way that I've been doing that here on the 1-minute chart. It's been paying me really, really nicely. Shout out to Isaac Rivera at Big Tick Energy. I'm going to have more from that dude coming on that trade management style. We're talking more about that. He is a wizard about being super aggressive with that stuff. I think it's the reason he's such a successful trader. Uh, nice. So yeah, let's talk about that one, man. Why did I jump in short there? Right? What was the magic behind that trade? There is no magic, right? And another day I take a rip my face off. This thing continues to the upside. I think we're continuing lower. I think we're going to go and check out the 900s. I'd be surprised if we didn't go hit the 900s, the 897s at this point. We might have to come back up and test this level first, but we can easily also rip to the upside. There is now liquidity down below price where there wasn't before, which is what fed this move initially, but we still do have super, super strong trend to the upside. So it's not something where I say, well, I think we're going down here. I'm picking the top on the day, and I think now the movement is completely down. The trend's over. We're done. Right? That's not the thesis. I think we're going to bounce here like we did and start to move to the downside. If we do, I'm going to look to grab quick profit. Um, so let's kind of just do that. I'll see if I can share Bookmap. Fading this bull market, interesting. Stop that again. Nope, that's a fake. I smell no bears. Nice, 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 nice. They're the bears. Here, bears eating. Yeah, no, again, guys, like, what's the thought process? Let's kind of frame this, right? Super bullish to the upside. Super bullish to the upside, right? So yes, I am fading this move. Hang on one second, guys. After we get through this, hang on one second. Whoa. All right, back in action here. Smack my mic. All right, let's talk about that trade, right? To the upside, which is what I liked on this. my green screen now. To the upside, which is what I liked on this first, I didn't get any opportunity. On another day, where would I have gotten long on this? Looking at this candlestick chart, on some form of pullback. Pull back down to VWAP here, looking for longs right here. Maybe we don't get that right off the bat. Maybe we come down, we sweep lows, we test prior day point of control, even lower into like the 47s. I'd be looking long on the bullish movement after the pullback, right? Maybe not buying the pullback super aggressively, but starting to buy as we move higher off of one of these levels. We didn't get any of that. So although I'm looking at this higher, how do I structure risk, right? You can just by throwing a stop really tight and then aggressively trailing into profit, same way that I did on the short. But it's just not my play. It's not my strategy. I don't have a setup for that. Somebody else does. Plenty of people do, and they were making money on the way up. It's just not mine, right? So here on the ES chart, more aggressively with a tighter stop loss, I got to have a good entry. I can't let price move against me really quickly, and that's going to result in more reversion style trading, at least for me. So I wasn't looking short. Like I said multiple times, it's going to be tough. Wasn't looking short until we got towards the 900s, right? Why didn't I limit in? Why didn't I just jump in right here? I said a couple times as we're getting up there, I got to wait to see what happens. There's just more and more liquidity stacking up above. We can blow through it. And I don't want to just get my face ripped off. That's what would have happened. So waited. We blasted through right to the 905s, blasted through the 910s, which is where I was looking. And then I saw all the way up towards the 915s was the last big stack of liquidity on the book on Bookmap, which I will show you guys in a minute. After that point, there was not a lot on the book. There was some that started to come up, but we started to get some hesitation. I got to see those orders fill, volume be filled, and then sellers start to step directly back in, right? So at the very least, I have a slight indication that we might start to pull back, at least bounce a little bit, right? And that's what we got. The trade management on these trades, again, because they are more aggressive, they are more counter, um, very, very tight, right? You can stop loss to break even quickly and then trailing in profit. That one I trailed very aggressively. It moved quickly in my direction. I anticipated what we had coming on here, where I'm super counter to the trend. I think it's likely to potentially move up after a pullback. I'm not going to leave a lot on the table. I want to immediately see it move lower until it doesn't, and then get trailed out. And that's where I was trailed out, right at the bottom of that movement. So I can't complain about any of that. That trade management style will result in much more stops for break evens before continues, and much more trades that continue in profit, after getting trailed out for a smaller profit. That's okay because you're generating a much higher win rate, or at least closer to a break even, on a lot of these movements that do continue to your stop loss. I find this personally more appropriate based on the data, what I've seen through back testing and forward testing, which is really what I'm doing here because it's a little bit more aggressive and a little bit different of my normal trade management style than something like the 15-minute chart, where immediately going stop loss to break even is going to result in a ton of break even and a ton of good trades cut before they move to profit. So let me start to show you guys the Bookmap real quick. Let's see. Hang tight with me, guys. I'm going to try to show. Whoa, that's my big face there. Try to show Bookmap. Hang on a second. There we go. Let's see. Nice. Okay, now we're looking at Bookmap together. This is good. Look at that. I can swap between screens, but you have to look at my ugly mug. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're looking at here. On the way up, right? On the way up, a lot of orders. A lot of orders in the book. Continuing sell orders above price, continuing to blast through them, finding some sellers a little bit kind of hesitating at these levels, but really just continuing to move up them all day. I'm cautious of jumping in on any one of these because we had more and more stacking involved, right? I was watching the 900s because we didn't have that much. And if I start to zoom back out here, there wasn't that much until we started to get closer. There wasn't that much up above the 900s, big round psychological number. So if I'm going to look for a level to enter based on price action, market structure, order flow, it's going to be one of these bad boys. As we came through that really aggressively, we had orders come on the book all the way up through the 910s. The last spot, and again, I got to like scroll back like this because this is what we're showing at that point. Last spot we really had a lot on the book was right around that 915. As we came up into it, and again, if I come back here, like you'll see, these 917s are still kind of light. As we came up into it, we did have the 917s. I'm still covered by my stop loss being all the way up at the 922s, where I think if we blast through this, we continue the upside. So that worked as a decent level to attempt to find an entry for a short. Now, as we started to move away from it, we had more come right back on, right? So like we started light, we came into it, and then you can see here, here's price moving away, right? This is, further into the future. We had more come back up on it. So that was reason for caution for sure. But it worked as a solid entry point, right? Worked as a solid entry point. As we started to consolidate up here just a little bit, we didn't rip through, right? We didn't get this type of movement where I'm waiting to hit the sell button and we just blast higher. So giving it a couple seconds right off these levels can help. You can see a really aggressive movement to the downside sometimes. If you're not quick to enter, you'll miss that. So it is closer to an entry right at the level, but just a little bit of a movement, away from that level, sellers to start to step in and to hang tight on that. So Bookmap, I will throw this link in the chat. And now that I'm talking about it, just so you guys know, I'm partnered. I'm affiliated with Bookmap. I can't stand to be unbiased. I talk about it a lot because I find it useful. Is it anything magic? No, right? Just like anything else. You have to decide if it's helpful for you personally, yourself, right? Order flow, using liquidity, using level 2 data in your trading. So that's Bookmap. That's the trade. One short, one win. 447. Let's do the math. Let's be exact here. About 1341 across 3 accounts. As you can see, I'm copy trading 350K straight to fundeds with top 1 futures. Not the $1,500 max daily profit that I would look for in this account, but something. Let's see what we get for the rest of the day. Now, let me go ahead and change this screen back. Nice. Add to stage. There we go. Back in action here. Back in action. Awesome. So let's see what we get for the rest of the session, man. And if you guys want to check this out, the platform that I'm on, just so you know, this is Project X. A lot of people keep asking me if it's Top Step X. It's the same platform. Project X is the platform. Top Step just calls it Top Step X. This is Project X with Top 1 futures. You can see the logo up here on the left-hand side. If you want to check this out, 40% off, code RDF gets you the best deals. Support me, support your boys, support yourself, or don't, man. Do whatever you want. Remember, I'm partnered. I'm biased. I stand to make money. I cannot be unbiased on something that I stand to make money from. So do your own research. Make your own decisions. Choppy audio. Yeah, I know, guys. I'm working on it. Let's see. Let's play with it while I'm hanging out. Watching this pull back. Beautiful, man. Beautiful off the 915s. Waited patiently to try that short. This does look like it's going to hit the 900s. Would have provided some nice opportunity. Not moving stop loss to break even or getting trailed out so far. Wouldn't have been too happy on that pullback right there. But let's see how this continues, right? All right, let's hear this, guys. Does this sound absolutely terrible? I'm doing a mic test with you guys. I see a lot of you saying that it's choppy. I would be kind of annoyed if I was listening to a really, really choppy session. Let me know what that sounds like. Let me know what that sounds like. Took off one of the other settings if that sounds way better. Oh, there we go. Much better. Look at that. You see? That's all it took. That's an echo setting, so I really should be running nice. Really should be running headphones if I use something like that, which I will in the past. But I have like no sound playing on anything right now. So, nice. Nice. Very happy. Happy to fix that with you guys for now. See, some of you saying different things, but anyway. I'm gonna hang out with you guys. I'm gonna see if we can't get another trade on this, man. I know a lot of times I'm a one and done, but I am going to be I'm gonna be waiting on this one, seeing what we have coming up next. Turn this bad boy up a little bit more. Seeing what we have coming up next, and watching to see if we continue this pullback. If we really do start to see a reversion off these 915s, I'm not convinced that this is done. I'm really not convinced that we are completely done for the day on the move to the upside. I could absolutely see this moving higher. So let's just let's kind of see where we go from here. Let's see what the market's got for us. But 1W, can't complain. Again, if you watch me trade, you know that I don't get too hyped up on my winners. I don't get too upset on my losers. I understand the market's very random in the short term. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know if I'm going to win one trade or the next. I just try to put them on as they present themselves to me. Looking for this one, I'd say a potential continuation of the downside out of this. I'm not going to fade it again right here. If we started to trend lower back down towards VWAP, I could potentially see that, but I'm cautious that this is just some consolidation before we continue. Now, obviously, all of this strength started to die out right here, right? If we look at the measured move to the downside, this was the largest pullback that we saw throughout this entire move, right? Even directly off the open, what was this? Like, 8 points. So the largest pullback of the day, largest move from the downside off the highs. Now we are starting to move sideways, right? We're starting to consolidate a little bit. At very least, we could say sellers have stepped in to start to challenge buyers up here. They are not allowing this thing to continue to move higher. If we don't want to create any narrative like that, price is now just consolidating. We got some volume being traded. Buy orders are done with the high volume, blasting price to the upside. We're hanging out for right now. Could this just be a little bit of a reload, cool off before we blast higher? Absolutely. I'm cautious of trading this one way or the other out of this consolidation. I'd like to see what happens. We get a sweep higher. What would get me in short? Some kind of a sweep higher, an attempt for buyers one more time, and then a failure to come back in. I'm definitely looking short on this. Long out of this area, if you were waiting for a pullback, a little bit higher time frame long, stop below the 900s. I could see that for continuation. But we're not moving higher right now. This could be a nice bull flag setting up if you trade bull flags, right? You could say I got a way to jump in, right? As soon as this starts to break out to the upside, I'm in long, stop loss below this level. Just framing something else out for you guys. I'm not a pattern trader in that sense. More of a level, price action, volume, order flow trader. But I'm an idiot, so what do I know? So watching this on Bookmap, still have orders all the way up to the 920s. So, and then it fades. So I would take a sweep of this high and then a pullback in for a short for sure. I don't think we're done on a pullback just yet because on Bookmap, like we were just looking at, live liquidity, we got it down to about the 95s. You can definitely see a pullback down to this area. Once we get down here, what happens? Do we crack back up and then continue? I could potentially see a short. We pull back down here, find aggressive buyers. That might be all we see for a pullback before we continue. So I could honestly see it long down below like the 95s. If we pull back that far aggressively, I could see that. Let's see what we get here from our boy ES or girl ES, whatever you want to describe this inanimate object that is the ESM 25 futures contract. But again, guys, appreciate you being on here. Smash like, smash subscribe. Boom, there's the banner for it. More than happy to have you guys hanging out with me trading live almost every damn day. I've been live. I'm on a streak, man. I've been live trading every day, either here on YouTube or actually in person in Tampa. For the last month straight. Every day the market's been open. I think it's going on 6 weeks. Happy to do it, man. Again, I don't claim to be the best trader. I don't think I'm the best trader. I think I'm far from that. Still think I have a lot to learn. Still make mistakes. I don't have all the biggest payouts. I'm not on the leaderboards with big live accounts or anything like that. But I'm more than happy to show you what trading looks like for me. Happy with the progress that I've made over the years, quite a few years in these markets. Happy to be able to pull some damn money out. But happy to show you what this looks like for me, man. If you're looking for a magic system, magic strategy, somebody who's the best trader ever, the only one ever to do it, probably in the wrong spot. So there, those other ones are out there if you believe in that type of stuff. But along with what I'm doing, like I just mentioned, I'm taking a lot from a lot of the really, really badass veteran traders that I'm lucky to be working with. And I'm going to have some stuff for you guys that I'm going to talk more about. If you're interested in learning something specific that I do and I've worked with somebody else on that, it's something that, I've taken from them and I think it can be valuable to you guys, I'm going to make that recommendation. I don't like to gatekeep anything. As you know, I don't gatekeep anything on my strategy, my approach, and I'm not going to gatekeep anybody else that that's helped me, right? I've made YouTube videos about it, traders that have helped me. I talk a lot. Austin Silver and, working with VWAP, Brian Shannon on the psychology side, Mark Douglas, Tom Hogard. I think that stuff's important, right? Nothing I do or what most traders do is some crazy proprietary thing that they made up, a complete system. It's usually a combination of different things. A lot of it overlaps. But if somebody's got some serious juice that I think is helpful, I'm going to try to make sure I give that to you guys. So here we go, pulling back to the 900s. That's the level that I was watching to the downside. Talking trade management, right? This is one of those ones where trailing aggressively, right? I got stopped right here. That looked good up until this point, right? So for me on these really aggressive counter moves, what I find is more often than not, if I don't get aggressive, I will take a stop out before it moves in my direction because I'm just not allowing a lot of room. But here's an example where that doesn't happen, right? Here's an example where we continue lower. If I just left my entry alone and stop alone, maybe I'm racking up $1,000 or $1,500 on this individual trade, leaving that full risk on. How do you get better at trade management? You backtest and forward test, but primarily trade and forward test. This is my humble opinion. And then track your data, right? And as simple as that sounds, do a little bit more of what's working and a little bit less of what's not working. If you find that every trade you go stop loss to break even on stops you at break even and then moves in your direction, maybe you shouldn't go stop loss to break even or as much. If you find that a lot of trades move in your direction, show you a 1-to-1, and then come all the way back on you to stop you out, maybe you want to tighten up. Maybe you want to trail into profit. The important thing to remember is you're not going to get it right every day. Nobody does. Market's very random on the short term. But you can create something that works across a large sample size of trades best for you. And it's going to be different for everybody. Your unique system and entry points, right? How you structure risk to begin with. And also your style, right? Your personality. What can you handle well? Something that doesn't have a lot of friction. So that's my thought process on trade management, man. Just I got a video dropping this week that's on a couple different trade management styles, giving you some examples, not touching stop loss at all, scaling out and going stop loss to break even, trailing aggressively into profit. Because I think what you do after you put the trade on is equal to, if not more important than what you do before you put the trade on. So here we go. Initial balance set now. Waiting time for failure or break and continuation. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we got initial balance was set here. This is our initial balance high. We know that more often than not, that breaks out to the upside and continues. We typically don't come back down and break the other side. So that would be a bullish indication on this one setting second. If we break it, it's much less likely that we come down and break the other side. And we are more likely to break this side than this side based on the order that these two have set. Some stats on that. Watching this on Bookmap. Yeah, man, 95s, like I said, for a real aggressive long. A really aggressive long would be the 95s. Here we go, trading down into these last couple levels on the book here. This is looking interesting, boys and girls. This is looking very interesting. Starting to eyeball along here. Pullback continuation in the direction of the higher time frame trend could be in store. Again, looking for a really aggressive entry with a fairly tight stop loss, and one mini is decent size for the way that I trade on these prop firm accounts with tight drawdowns. I'm looking at it into the 95s, but yeah, here we go for a pop right out of this level of volume here. Wow. Buyer stepping in on that one pretty aggressively. That looks like it might continue. Yep. Not. Ooh, we got some movement on this one. Getting wiggly. I was looking at the 895s for a potential long. We got pretty dang close. Again, kind of similar where I'd want to see what happens if we come down into this level. Do we just start to blast lower? I'm not going to set a limit order there and just get caught on the downside. I would at least wait for some hesitation, maybe a crack below, and then kind of buyers to kind of hang on for a second there. Very, very, very light amount of waiting. But that's the last level that I could see before we really aggressively start to sell all the way back off towards VWAP. I wouldn't mind that with a pretty tight stop, but that was aggressive buying pressure that stepped right back in. This is not as clean. But looking long off the 895s, that's a potential long setup for me. Again, pulling back down, hanging out around these this 5,900 level, right? No surprise here. Big round psychological number. We had a lot of orders on the book there earlier today. Returning down to that. Yeah, this is some clean downtrend structure on the low time frame, though. Again, higher time frame would be lighting up. I wouldn't mind giving back profit on this one to aim for some more. So let's see what happens down here around these 95s. Let's see what happens down around here. Initial balance set now, still valid, sell till VWAP. Sure, I can see that. Very risky long. This is how buyers are trapped. Sure, right? Yeah, if you were long already, it wouldn't be great. I could see that for sure. Do you see it on Bookmap? Yes, I'm looking at quite a few orders stacked up at the 95s, the 895s, and not a whole lot below that. The 85s, the 90s got some. As we start to come down lower, they're feeding a little bit on the book down below. I'm going to watch as we come down into this. I'm not dead sold on it, right? I like a more aggressive pullback, right down into a level on some volume to buy it very aggressively like this to anticipate, an immediate crack back in the opposite direction. This would be kind of buying downtrend structure. So I don't like this so much after this move, and I think this might invalidate it for me. It's not bad. We'll see what happens down here, right? But I'm going to wait to see and make a decision as we actually start to approach that price, right? But framing the trade ahead of time, creating some simple if-then statements. That's my thought process, guys. Yeah, finding buyers right down here, man. Close to that level, real close. Pushing back up to the upside. Yeah, so the read's pretty good, man. Bookmap not working too bad these days. Combination of volume and basic price action, trend, simple levels. It's been working pretty nicely here on ES. Watching where VWAP is, how far away are we from that? Looking at some other tools as well, but didn't get the pullback to the 95s. Got really close, really close. But that's really now invalidated. That was the pop that I would want to be in on from down here, right? If we hit the 95s on another day, started to bounce, maybe I'm in at like 96, 97. And, there's my 8.5 points of profit starting to retest this area of high volume, temporary volume point of control that's showing right here with a stop loss at break even. Now we come back down on this. It's just not valid, right? Now we've formed different structure. We put we continue this downtrend structure. We broke to the upside. Now we come all the way back down. Not as appetizing for a long play from down here. This could be some structure forming to the upside, and you might say, hey, I want to get long up here now that we've formed this. Stop loss just down below. If we come lower, I think we're headed to the downside, right? You could absolutely form your trade like that. Take it from up here for a continuation. But not my setup. Not my setup. So I'm in wait and see mode. Again, still have orders down at the 95s. Plenty on the book up above 915, 917 and a half, 920s. Like I talked about, we get a sweep up above these levels. I could see that. And then we start to turn. I could definitely see that back down to VWAP. Starting to pull back on this really, really big bullish movement. Not a whole lot on the book past the 920s until we go higher. Next larger stack looks like up around the 950s, 945s, 950s. Yeah, man. If today I can get $250 from deliveries, I'll buy one MFFU account with 50% off. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Luke, but I would, if you're saying that if you are working in order to buy one of these accounts and you're in a spot financially where, first of all, I'm not partnered or affiliated with MFFU. I'm not exactly sure which one that is. So, but if you're talking about, doing something like that and you are looking at buying an account while you're in a very tight spot financially, I wouldn't do that, right? Not a suggestion or recommendation to do anything, but I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that with any of the accounts that I'm partnered with or guys that I'm partnered with. I talk about this a lot, and I've posted about it recently. Trading from a place where you need to make money is damn near impossible to make it work. It's damn near impossible when you have money and you don't need to make money, but it's closer to impossible when you need to. When you add that level of mental stress onto trading, that pressure, it becomes incredibly difficult. So I would keep doing what you're doing. I would trade with no risk on the line, right? Learn as you go. And then when the time comes, buy, one of the cheapest accounts, but not until you have money to lose, right? And not until you're at a spot where you say, I don't need to make money from this, because especially if you're just starting out, you're not, you're going to lose first. That's how it goes for almost everybody. I don't know anybody that starts out trading and automatically is a great trader and just starts making money and winning. So that's my 2 cents there, man. Not to be discouraging at all, but just to give you my honest, my honest opinion. I traded with way too much risk on the line to begin with, but that said, I've been in a spot where I haven't had to make money from trading for a long period of time. Really, when I came to trading, I'm grateful to have to say that, and it's still hard as hell, right? Guys do it, but I don't know a lot of them that do it well, where you come to trading just scraping by, and there's so much additional pressure from a mindset and psychology side to make it happen, to make money. And, you're taking money from other areas, or, God forbid, taking out a loan or a credit card. It's tough, man. I've talked to great guys that have done that, but they're few and far between, man. And again, it makes it so much more difficult, so much more difficult. So I people message me all the time. I have a family I'm trying to support. I'm in a bad spot financially. And I tell them, like, I don't want to be discouraging, right? I'm not going to impose my limiting beliefs on you and tell you can't do something. So you do whatever you want to do, make your own decision. But I'll tell you from my personal experience, the more pressure that you put on trading, the harder it becomes. And I would compare this just as a thought. Picture the version of you who has plenty of money in the bank, whatever that means to you, and all your bills are covered. Trading. How does that person trade and how do they do? What's their performance look like? Versus the person that has no money in the bank and they need to make a prop firm payout to pay their bills or to pay their rent or something. That person can't compete. They cannot compete with the first one. And I think we need to try to put every edge in our favor to stand a chance at taking money out of these markets. And until you can do that, finding more consistent, stable, maybe lower opportunity income from outside sources while you learn for free in different areas and read books and just trade on demo, I think that's the smarter move. Again, there's people that have done it, and I don't want to tell anyone they can't do it. But do I think it's a smart idea or a good idea to put money on the line while you are not in a good spot financially trying to learn to trade? No, I do not at all. And again, that comes from somebody who makes money, people supporting for a code or a link or, trading software. But I would always encourage really against that. This stuff is super hard, right? If you have money in the bank, it's still really hard. If you don't need to make money from trading, it's still really freaking hard. If you need to, it becomes damn near impossible. And again, you could learn for free, right? You don't have to pay the tuition that me and every other idiot pays when they start out. At a certain point, you do have to put risk on the line. You're probably going to lose that money, but you can do it really lightly. But you can learn a lot. You can trade on demo. You can use free trading software, practice. You can read free books, right? You can just watch charts all day, learn technical analysis, fundamental analysis, all of that for free. We live in a beautiful time where you can do that. And, if you want to spend your time outside of working or creating income from something more consistent and, that you can, is more linear, I don't think it's a bad idea. So that's my thought process there. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you were doing that. And some people are like, well, if I pull some money over here, I'll bring it over here. But man, it takes a while. It takes a lot of losses. It takes longer than most people expect, right? It's hard. So, don't put yourself in that situation. That's my thought process. Everybody's entitled to their own, but I'm happy to always give that information and not to be discouraging, right? Not to be like, rain on everybody's parade, but that's my thought process. I talk to people all the time, and they like hit me up all the time, and I'm like, dude, or woman, my wife yelled at me yesterday because I have way too masculine focused verbiage. So, man or woman, if you're in a bad spot financially, you probably shouldn't be trading at all. If you are tight on cash, you don't have money that you can stand to lose and not worry about it at all. You should not have risk on. Shouldn't have risk on the line because that's what happens. It's very nonlinear. Takes a long time to learn. Anyway, watch this market chop back around the 907s. Sitting here, man, this didn't provide the setup to the upside that I wanted off the 95s, the 895s. We sweep the highs on this and come back down. I'm looking at it short. If we start to push to the upside, I don't really have a trade. You can take a long from here with the stop loss below the 895s. Gun to my head, if I had to put one on, that's probably what I'm doing. I don't like it short before we go and crack the 920s and fill all the liquidity up there. I think we could probably head there first, or we might just continue. This might be all we see. Pull back to the 900s and then continuation. So I don't know that I love this just yet. Either way, so I'm gonna watch for a little bit longer. Coming up on 11 o'clock. Gonna have to see what we get. NQ already swept highs. Ooh, nice. NQ. Is there a practice account in Top 1 Futures? There is. There is a practice account on Top 1 Futures. You have to have an account with them, so you can't just get a free practice account. But once you get any account with them, you go to your dashboard and it says Get Practice Account. There's a little button or something. If you don't know how to do it, just hit their support, hit them in Discord, say, how do I get the free practice account? But you can add a practice account here on Project X and you can trade on demo. which is a cool thing to do, right? If maybe you get the cheapest eval, right, like the $40 or whatever, however much it is with the discount, the cheapest eval, and you say, I'm going to give my shot give myself one chance with this, and if I fail for the whole rest of the month, I'm just going to trade demo in the practice account. And then you come back and you trade that again, right? You limit your risk to like, under $100 per month while you learn to trade, where you still have some risk on the line. You're in live market conditions, even though it's a sim. It's actually technically sim environment, right? All across the board. But you have risk on the line for you because you paid for that account. You stand a chance to either pass or to make money. That's not a bad idea. Thank you. Speaking the truth. Yeah. NQ already swept highs. Yeah, what does that look like? What does NQ look like? Ooh, NQ's up above high of day. Interesting, boys and girls. Dow living in its own world, as usual. chopping around, no crazy uptrend from Dow, back and forth like selling off. Insane. Yeah, I'm interested to see where we go from here on ES, right? I think if we start to crack highs, I think we're going to see 920s. I'd be cautious of jumping into that. If we start to come back down through this low, again, I'm not looking long on this off the 95s again. If we start to come back down through this low, I think that might be it. Move back down towards VWAP. Move back down towards, like the 80s, right? All the way back down. I could absolutely see that. I could see that for a setup. So let's see what we get from up here. If you are a divergence trader, maybe you are waiting for NQ to start to turn, and you're going to look to ES for a trade to the downside. I don't use both or multiple US indices or really like correlation in that way. I just don't find it super helpful for me personally. That's my thought process. Chopping right here at the 907s. Yeah, I'm in a no trade here over here, guys. No real setup. That provided a nice entry. I can't be upset about that. I aggressively managed that one to the downside, right? Controlling risk, racked up $450 on another day, and reviewing this trade management, right? Could grab a lot more out of that, all the way down below the 900s. Watching what happens up here. Do we go crack towards the 920s? Do we come back down? Middle of consolidation now, a trade out of that. That's not my setup, but I don't want to leave just yet because I think there could be some more opportunity. That's why I'm hanging out. I was a long time not here. Why are you not trading Top Step anymore? Because I want to start trading there. Yeah, Top Step's great. I still trade Top Step. I still have max funded with Top Step in XFAs with accounts on backup. I still trade with Top Step. I took a Top Step payout not last. Yeah, when did I get back from Tampa? The week before last. Yeah, Top Step's solid, man. Same platform, Project X. It's very, very solid. I am partnered affiliated with Top One Futures and other firms. That's not the only reason I trade with them. I'm super bullish on an instant funded option. I like the opportunity when I look at drawdown and what I need to do to make money with these accounts. So I am heavily focused on trading them. I love an instant funded on Project X. Who's behind the brand, the opportunity when it comes to what the cost per account looks like, the drawdown they give you, $6,000 of max loss limit, what you need to do to make money, right? And not having to take an evaluation where I have to make $9,000 across 2 days and pay for that before I'm able to get into a funded account. So I think it's very, very competitive, but I still like Top Step, right? They would be, who I'm trading the most outside of Top One Futures. No update. Have to ask them. It doesn't work unless you ask them to. What are we talking about here? Oh, okay. We're talking about Top One Futures practice account. Okay. I've got a gentleman giving some feedback saying that it's hard to use it, and if you blow it, you don't get another one. Yeah, honestly, I haven't played with it myself outside of before they launched, getting a demo account. So I really can't speak on it. I'm sorry if that's the case for you, and I won't dispute that at all. I would definitely reach out to them. From what I saw, it's a simple button on the dashboard. I assume that would just activate it the way that Top Step does with the same deal on Project X. But if not, I would hit up support. Hit up support. It should be pretty responsive. Selling off the 906s, man. We come back down. I'm curious on this one. He still does trade on Top Step platform, but he's an affiliate. Yep. Correct. Correctamundo. Yeah, Top Step solid. I won't get into why you see so many guys as far as their affiliates moving away, because I think it's different from everybody for everybody. But that's up to the consumer to decide for. No pressure, man. Yeah, Top Step's solid, man. 12 years in the industry. They really created this futures prop industry. Obviously, extremely reliable. You don't see people having any types of issues. Clear rules. Project X, which we all know and love. Yeah. There's complaints about every different thing, right? I have critiques of Top One. I have critiques of everybody. There's definitely some with Top Step for sure that I have, but still really solid, right? I still trade with them. One of the biggest advantages that I like is this platform, man. I really like Project X. I don't like Tradeovate. It's a personal preference. There's probably nothing wrong with Tradeovate, and guys love it, but I don't do super well on Tradeovate. But instant funded on Project X for this price point, the reliability that I see with Top One, the rule set, everything, the path to live, super bullish. So if you want to check out Top One, code RDF. You want to check out Top Step, you could just go straight to their site. There's no codes or discounts, I don't think, from anyone anywhere as far as I'm aware. I think they hook some things up directly, but they used to give codes out like candy, but not anymore. Used to give resets and stuff out on that live like nonstop. Chopping around here at the 905s, man. Thanks. Yeah. Not a lot setting up here. Not a lot setting up here. This would just be a blatant 50-50 guess on which way we're going to crack out of this consolidation, which is not my style. Really chopping around here at this temporary volume point of control. Obviously trading a lot up here when we look at just consolidation of price action. Dying off on volume a little bit, kind of slowing down. Do we start to turn back to VWAP? I could see it happening. An aggressive pop up here again, and then a turn back down. I would absolutely be looking short on this. Pull back down to this level, and then aggressive buying pressure. I could see that drift higher into the afternoon, but that would really be fading this big movement to the upside, consolidation, and then moving lower. So I liked it on the way up here, really aggressively long on a pullback for continuation. Didn't get that. Took it short. One trade, one win to the downside. Aggressively trailed it. Worked out very nicely, right? Looking for that impulsive move back down to the downside, which we got. And here we are just sitting through some consolidation. Yeah, guys, the more I watch this, the less I see a setup coming. So I wanted to hang for a little bit longer, see if we kind of cracked to the upside or downside, and then started to do something else. But getting into the 11 a.m. Time frame, I'm going to wrap it up right here. One win, no complaints, coming out green on the first trade on the live this week. No trading on the live yesterday, although we did got some green in my accounts after the live. Not worth anything, though. I like to just talk about what I do here live. Anyway, on that note, guys, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. First off, subscribe, hit like if you like this stuff. If you like what I'm doing here, hop in the free Discord. More than happy to have you in there. 100% free, not a VIP feeder program. I'm live on here almost every damn day. We got multiple giveaways coming out. Sorry to disappoint, guys. It's not today. Random days, random times. That's the benefit. If you hop on here, it's only 30 people. So like I always say, man, I think you got a great chance of winning. But we got two 2 to give away. Only 3 days left in the week. So you guys have a great opportunity the rest of the week. Remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. I'm just an idiot here trading on YouTube for entertainment purposes only. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. If you trade, you're probably going to lose all your money. Make your own decisions. Do your own research. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content like Code RDF, Top 1 Futures, Bookmap, all that fun stuff. I like to be transparent about all that. I think that's important. Talk to you guys soon. Have an awesome rest of the day. Trade safe, trade well, structure risk, do whatever you want to do. Don't listen to idiots on YouTube. See you guys in Discord. Have an awesome day.